Replit, Microsoft, vibe coding goes corporate. The coding revolution just took a massive corporate turn. What if your next app was built by your sales rep instead of a dev team? Microsoft and Replit have formed a partnership that could fundamentally change how businesses build software. We're talking about bringing vibe coding, this intuitive AI-powered development approach, directly into enterprise environments through Microsoft's Enterprise Cloud Store integration with Azure's back-end infrastructure. What does this mean? Well, imagine your marketing manager building their own analytics dashboard without writing a single line of traditional code, or your HR team creating custom workflows without calling IT. As Deb Cupp, president of Microsoft America, puts it, this collaboration democratizes application development, enabling business teams to innovate without traditional technical barriers. This isn't just another tech partnership announcement. This is Microsoft betting big on a future where anyone can be a developer. But there's something deeper happening here that might surprise you. The strategic chess move behind the partnership. The strategic chess move behind this partnership reveals something that might seem puzzling at first glance. Microsoft already owns GitHub Copilot, one of the most successful AI coding tools on the market. So why would they partner with Replit? What's the real strategy behind this move? The answer reveals a much more sophisticated play than most people realize. This partnership isn't about Microsoft competing with their own tools. It's about capturing a completely different market segment that traditional coding platforms completely miss. Think about it this way. GitHub Copilot serves professional developers who already know how to code. Replit serves people who want to build things but don't have coding skills. These are two entirely different audiences with different needs, different workflows, and different budgets. Microsoft pitches Replit not as a Copilot rival, but as a no-code alternative to design tools like Figma. When a business analyst wants to mock up a workflow, or when a project manager needs to visualize a process, they traditionally turn to design tools. Now Microsoft is saying, why not build the actual working version instead of just a prototype? This positioning is brilliant because it sidesteps the entire coding conversation and frames Replit as a business productivity tool. This approach gives Microsoft access to the no-code revolution without cannibalizing their existing developer tools. Professional developers will still use Visual Studio Code and GitHub Copilot. Business users will use Replit through Microsoft's ecosystem. There's no overlap, no competition, just two different entry points into Microsoft's broader platform. The Enterprise Cloud Store integration reveals Microsoft's deeper ecosystem lock-in strategy. When business users build applications through Replit, those applications naturally connect to Microsoft's back-end services through Azure containers, virtual machines, and Postgres databases. The company doesn't just sell you a development tool, they become your entire technology backbone. Microsoft is betting on agentic coding as the next frontier in enterprise software development. As Replit's CEO puts it, we aspire for Replit to be the most trusted name for enterprise in this new era of agentic coding. Instead of writing code line by line, users describe what they want, and AI agents handle the implementation details. It's like saying, "Show me a dashboard," instead of writing step-by-step code to build one. The revenue implications are fascinating. Microsoft earns from the developer ecosystem without directly selling development tools. Every application built on Replit generates hosting fees, database usage charges, API calls, and integration costs. It's a usage-based revenue model that scales with customer success rather than seat licenses. Here's the bigger picture. This partnership positions Microsoft to own the entire spectrum of development, from professional developers using GitHub and Visual Studio to complete beginners using Replit's visual interface. They've created multiple entry points for different skill levels, all leading to the same destination: deeper integration with Microsoft's ecosystem. Whether you're a seasoned programmer or someone who's never written code, Microsoft now has a path to capture your development workflow and the recurring revenue that comes with it. But every strategic win creates strategic losses elsewhere. Google Cloud's unexpected vulnerability. There's a major loser in this partnership announcement, and it's not who you'd expect. While everyone focuses on what Microsoft gains, Google Cloud faces a significant threat that could reshape the entire cloud hosting landscape. The reason? Replit applications have traditionally been hosted on Google Cloud, making this Microsoft partnership a direct blow to Google's developer ecosystem. Google Cloud previously showcased their relationship with Replit as a competitive advantage. They promoted this partnership publicly, highlighting how Replit's platform relied on Google's infrastructure to power millions of coding projects. Google even profiled this collaboration in case studies, demonstrating how their cloud services enabled Replit's rapid scaling and global reach. Now that promotional relationship has become a liability, as Microsoft offers competing infrastructure through their own ecosystem. The technical implications go much deeper than simple hosting. Microsoft is now offering Replit users access to Azure containers, virtual machines, and Postgres databases as alternatives to Google services. When someone builds an application through Replit's interface, they can now choose Microsoft's backend infrastructure instead of defaulting to Google Cloud. This shift affects everything from data storage to API processing, potentially moving substantial computing workloads from Google servers to Microsoft's data centers. Here's why the non-exclusive nature of this deal doesn't actually protect Google's position as much as it seems. This partnership is non-exclusive. Replit can still run on Google Cloud, but Microsoft becomes the default for enterprises buying through its store. When businesses choose Replit through Microsoft's enterprise store, the natural integration points lead to Azure services, not Google Cloud. The path of least resistance now flows toward Microsoft's infrastructure. Other no-code and low-code platforms may now have to declare allegiance, fragmenting the market along cloud lines. We could see development tools become increasingly tied to specific cloud ecosystems. Imagine a future where your choice of coding platform determines which cloud provider gets your hosting revenue. The broader implications for Google's AI and cloud strategy are substantial. Google has invested heavily in developer tools and AI-powered coding assistants through services like Bard and their cloud-based development environments. They've positioned themselves as the AI-first cloud provider, particularly appealing to developers who want cutting-edge machine learning capabilities. But Microsoft is essentially using Replit to infiltrate Google's traditional stronghold in the developer community, offering an alternative path that bypasses Google's developer-focused services entirely. This connects to the larger battle between Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud for enterprise market share. While Amazon Web Services still dominates overall cloud usage, the fight for second place has intensified dramatically. Microsoft has been gaining ground through strategic partnerships and enterprise integrations, while Google has relied on their technical superiority and developer-friendly tools. The Replit partnership represents Microsoft's strategy of winning through ecosystem lock-in rather than pure technical competition. Every new business user who builds their first application through Replit now has a direct pathway to Microsoft's cloud services. The compound effect of thousands of small applications choosing Azure over Google Cloud could represent millions in shifted revenue and a fundamental change in how developers think about cloud infrastructure choices. But this partnership might just be the opening move in a much bigger game. The acquisition prediction that changes everything. Here's a bold prediction that could reshape the entire development landscape. As Karthik Harry puts it, I predict Microsoft will acquire a company in the AI vibe coding space within the next 6 to 12 months. This isn't just speculation. It's following the exact same playbook they used when they bought GitHub in 2018. The prime acquisition targets are already clear. Vercel stands out as the most obvious choice, given their dominance in front-end deployment and their growing integration with AI-powered development workflows. Their platform handles millions of deployments for React and Next.js applications, making them a natural fit for Microsoft's developer ecosystem and perfectly positioned to bridge the gap between AI-generated code and production deployment. Lovable represents another compelling target, especially with their focus on AI-generated applications that bridge the gap between technical and non-technical users. And here's the twist: Replit itself could become an acquisition target, despite their current partnership. Microsoft has a history of partnering first, then acquiring once they understand the strategic value. The parallels between today's AI coding revolution and Microsoft's 2018 GitHub acquisition are remarkable. Microsoft recognized that owning the platform where developers collaborate would give them unprecedented influence over the entire software development process. And they're seeing the same opportunity today with AI-powered coding tools that democratize software creation. Why does enterprise vibe coding require the deep pockets and patience that only tech giants can provide? The technical challenges are enormous. Scaling intuitive coding tools from consumer to enterprise environments means handling complex security requirements, regulatory compliance, and integration with legacy systems that weren't designed for modern workflows. These challenges require sustained investment over years, not months. Microsoft has both the financial resources and the long-term vision to navigate these complexities successfully. The technical challenges go beyond just scaling infrastructure. Enterprise customers need tools that can handle sensitive data, comply with industry regulations, and integrate seamlessly with existing business processes. Building these capabilities requires teams of specialized engineers, extensive testing, and the kind of patience that startup funding cycles simply can't support. Microsoft's enterprise experience and existing relationships give them a massive advantage in solving these problems. The market opportunity represents a genuine pot of gold that makes these acquisitions inevitable. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how software gets created, moving from a specialized skill to a general business capability. Every business function could potentially build their own tools instead of waiting for IT departments or buying expensive software licenses. The revenue potential spans across hosting, integration services, enterprise support, and the entire ecosystem of business applications. An acquisition would accelerate Microsoft's dominance in both traditional and AI-powered development by creating a seamless pipeline from idea to deployment. Professional developers would continue using GitHub and Visual Studio Code, while business users would start with AI-powered tools and gradually move toward more sophisticated development as their needs grow. This creates multiple touchpoints with customers and multiple revenue streams from the same development lifecycle. Here's how an acquisition would complete Microsoft's vision. They would own the entire development lifecycle, from initial idea to final deployment. Business users could prototype in AI-powered tools, developers could refine and scale those prototypes, and everything would deploy seamlessly to Microsoft's cloud infrastructure. The implications of this shift extend far beyond corporate strategy. Conclusion: what does this mean for us? We're witnessing the beginning of a fundamental shift in who gets to build software in enterprises. Microsoft and Replit aren't just changing who builds software, they're reshaping enterprise innovation itself. This partnership signals a future where business teams can innovate without traditional technical barriers. As Deb Cup emphasized, your marketing team, HR department, and project managers could soon be building their own applications without calling IT. Here's why this matters. You need to prepare for a world where technical creativity becomes a standard business skill. But here's the question that keeps me thinking. Will this democratization ultimately create more opportunities for everyone? Or will it disrupt traditional tech careers in ways we haven't fully considered yet? Let me know in the comments whether you think vibe coding will empower your team or challenge traditional dev roles.